Clean, organized, efficient, and highly regulated. Safe and secure with a thriving economy that is one of the wealthiest in the world. A beautiful city with cutting-edge architecture and a multi-ethnic, multilingual, multicultural society. And a reputation for being one of the world's leading food destinations. This is Singapore.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Singapore's efficiency and cleanliness are no accident. There are laws imposed to maintain this pristine state. This is a country in which chewing gum is a controlled substance. The polished exterior is enforced, with heavy fines and the prospect of imprisonment for things like spitting and littering. Even the city's famous hawker stalls aren't exempt from the regulations.
So once upon a time here in Singapore, like in many other Southeast Asian nations, all the food hawkers were just little carts set up alongside the road. The Singapore government actually decided to regulate the hawker centers, put them in these big covered food court type markets so they could increase the sanitation, reduce the amount of trash that was on the street, etc. Now these hawker centers are an institution here in Singapore. You can find them everywhere.
So as soon as we arrived here in Singapore, the bus dropped us just off across the street. I don't know if you could see that back behind me there. And right across the street here is the Golden Mile Food Centre. So we've decided to come over here to stop for a kaya toast and give this a try and show you this. You can see the big pat of butter inside of there. Kaya toast is very popular here in Singapore and Malaysia and Indonesia. What kaya is a coconut jam. And then they put these big pads of butter in on top of them. And if you guys watch this channel, you know how I like a sweet breakfast. So the combination of a coconut jam and the fattiness of the butter there, it's perfect.
So the 2 kaya toasts and the 2 iced coffees set us back $5 Singapore dollars. Back home, you really can't even get 1 iced coffee for that. So though there are a lot of things that are super expensive here in Singapore, food is definitely not one of them. Also, the fines are not cheap either, so we're going to be making sure to bring our trash back to the return station.
Number 2.
And this is Hainanese curry rice that we got at this stall called Golden Mile Curry Rice here in the Golden Mile Center. And you can see it's lunchtime, it's starting to get busy, and there is like a lineup of people to get this dish. So this Hainanese curry rice is like a breaded pork chop, all chopped up. They use scissors to do that. And then like this just big mess of curry, a fried egg, looks like some cabbage over some fried rice. And even though it is called Hainanese, this is a very much a Singaporean dish and actually isn't considered part of Hainan cuisine. And now I know why there's a lineup here. It's delicious.
Curry rice, little piece of pork chop to start with. The curry that's happening in there, you get a burst of the flavor of the sauces and the gravies and the curries that's happening. The pork chop, honestly, it's all pre-cooked, so they're just pulling it off. And so it's about room temperature, but it's done fantastic. All right, just jump into a big mess of curry rice here. Oh my God. That is so good. Yeah. I dumped a big blob of sambal on here, thinking it was going to be spicy. It's a bit more sweet. Oh my God, that is so good.
Really good.
To be honest with you, I didn't have high expectations for curry rice. It just doesn't sound good. A bunch of rice covered in a curry gravy. This is fantastic. This is delicious.
Can't go wrong with smothered fried pork chops, right?
That is so good. Well, Singapore is an expensive city. It's one of the most expensive cities in the world. Food is just absolutely cheap here.
Unbelievable.
That entire place of the pork chop plate with the curry rice, $3.50 Singapore, and it's what an amazing price for something that's that fantastic. It's delicious.
I've never tried this before.
Is it? Your country don't have this?
No, we don't have sugar cane in Canada.
Is it?
It's too cold. Oh, I'm excited.
This one came from Malaysia.
We were just in Malaysia.
This from Malaysia.
Here at Northbridge Hawker Market, we're trying something for the first time, which is super popular here. This is a sugar cane juice. So the gentleman there who owns the stall just took like big, what do you call it?
Pieces of sugar cane, yeah, the
stalks of sugar cane,
yeah.
and just like feeds it through this press a couple times, and out comes this green sugar cane juice.
It's so good. It's delicious. It's super refreshing.
It's not as sweet as you would think.
Yeah,
it
you would
is.
think it would sugar cane. You would think it'd be extremely sweet, and it's not. It's fantastic.
It's got this like grassy, like woodiness to it as well. Yeah, I'll have another one of
That's
these.
good. These hawker markets are great.
Hawkers are so central to life here that they have been added to the UNESCO list of the intangible cultural heritage. The average hawker makes about $3,000 a month, working 7 days a week. It's not hard to see why this may not be appealing to younger Singaporeans. With the median age of hawkers at 60, the stalls are at risk of dying out. This is Maggie and her family. They have a hawker stall at the Berseh Food Centre. Here are 3 generations of hawkers and possibly a 4th with Maggie's children. Maggie is one of the few who decided to carry on in her mother's footsteps and continue the legacy. Today she will be making us a distinctly Singaporean dish called Hokkein Mee. While Hokkein noodles first originated in the Fujian province of China, Singaporeans have made this dish their own. Maggie starts off the dish by browning some garlic and vegetable oil and pork lard. And then she's going to add a little bit of chicken granules to simmer down. Next in goes a little bit of egg. After the egg is cooked down for a little bit, she's going to add a combination of egg noodles and rice vermicelli noodles and stir fry it up. Season it all up with a little bit of sweet soy sauce. Maggie has made a large batch here, but she's leaving ours in the wok.
One for you, huh?
A little bit of greens and a little bit of sprouts. This aromatic broth that you see now is made from shrimp and from pork bones. Cover it up and let it steam off a bit. Finally, she's going to add prawns, cuttlefish, and pork belly.
I'm going away there.
And time to plate. A little bit of lime, a little bit of sambal.
Cuttlefish, prawns, big chunks. Oh, that's good. The 2 different kinds of noodles both give like a slightly different texture, which is awesome. And then that sambal that they make there is amazing. Wow.
Little piece of chopsticks just broke. We'll be right back. Yeah, the sambal is spicy. I threw 2 big heapings of the sambal on there. Peanuts all over it. There's little pieces of like fried pork lard that are in here, little slivers of pork. That is delicious.
These are good prawns.
That is so good.
Finishing up this Hokkein Mee, but because Maggie is taking over her mom's business, it'll be around for a lot longer.
Singapore has an incredible mix of people. For such a large and busy city, we found that the Singaporeans were shockingly welcoming and friendly. Like Amelia and the staff at Lian Noodle, who showed us how to make some traditional Singapore dishes. Laksa, both wet and dry versions of minced pork chili mee, and the dish we came here to try, Satay Bee Hoon.
This one we call tau pork. We actually put some tau pork, and this is the cuttlefish. That is prawns, and now he's doing some bean sprouts. And this is some kangkong veggie. Last bit that he's going to put on the soy sauce, which contains a peanut, which is we call it as gravy or Satay Bee Hoon.
Speaking of amazingly friendly Singaporeans, meet Petra and Ivan. They're a young couple from Singapore that we met a few months ago at a dog cafe in Bangkok. We reached out to them when we planned our trip here, and today they're joining us for lunch at Dalian.
The Satay Bee Hoon. What do you guys know? Is this something that you guys would normally eat regularly, or is this like a tourist thing?
I think it's something that is quite rare in Singapore nowadays.
Yeah?
I think it's like usually found in hawker centers or like these kind of small shops.
I think it's something that my mom would eat, like, because she would always go to hawker center and order this specifically, but I would usually order something else.
So do you find that like the older generation, like you just said, do they have different tastes in food than the younger generation does? Like, is that pretty common, you think?
I know my grandma likes salty food.
Oh,
She likes salty food?
Yes.
Yeah?
And my dad and my mom, my dad and my uncles as well.
Yeah?
Yeah. They always like to dip the soy sauce with the chili powder.
like I see also like a lot of restaurants here that have Japanese or Korean or Thai or whatnot, right?
Yeah.
Is that common for all Singaporeans, or is that something that's a little bit more new, eating food that's from elsewhere that isn't the more traditional Singaporean ethnic?
I think it's pretty common because you're in all the malls and we frequent the malls a lot. So like a lot of them like Korean food, Thai food, like you mentioned, Japanese food is like an everyday thing for us. And then Asian food, I mean, of course, when you came to Asian food like France and like Singaporean food, then that's when you go to like the hawker centers to find food like this.
So there is a big mix of. How about Western food? Is it a big thing here?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you guys are a bit younger. Like, are you guys fans of like the McDonald's and Wendy's and stuff like that?
I like this though because it's got these thin noodles and then that like peanut sauce like you would put on satay. That's probably why they call it Satay Bee Hoon. So it got like satay sauce on it, and because the noodles are kind of thin, you really taste the sauce more than you taste the noodles. Yeah. Petra was saying that Ivan has to go do that there's compulsory military service here.
There is? Yeah? 2 years? So you're getting ready to go now, or?
Oh no, I completed it.
You complete? I was gonna say, shit, he's really young. He doesn't even go. How old are these guys? And how was that? Did you enjoy your time doing it, or?
Did you enjoy your time in the army?
Well, I don't know, because I speak to a lot of people all over the world.
That's true. Like Israelis, I know a lot of Israelis,
They
and
take
it's like
great pride.
And I guess I feel kind of proud when I wear the uniform.
really.
But
I bet you look very handsome.
oh, thank you.
And how long until you finish school, Petra?
And it's like next Monday and then I'm done.
No way.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
So what's your guys' feelings on the security cameras everywhere?
Actually, I guess it's a good thing. It really ensures the safety that we are known for.
Yeah.
It's a trade-off, I guess.
The crime rate is so low.
You have to deal with high prices and everything being a bit more expensive, but the security that comes with being in a country like Singapore.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. Like, we've been walking around late at night and I see young women walking down the roads by themselves. Like, my hometown, I would freak out if I saw a young lady walking the roads at 2 o'clock in the morning by herself.
In Singapore, we can just like go out anytime, do whatever we want, and not have to scared.
That's nice.
The only issue that people bring up is just privacy.
Privacy, right? Yeah. So how do you feel about that? Like, do you feel like you're lacking privacy, or do you feel like it's just the cameras are just there just for bad guys and they're not really watching people if they're not?
I mean, I think it's necessary, so I don't really find that privacy issue.
And it's not as if we're like getting anything. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really see where I would even have, if I lived here, I don't think I would have any issue. I might have had an issue with it at 22.
Yeah.
At 22, I probably would have had a big issue.
After lunch, Petra and Ivan wanted to treat us to some traditional Singaporean desserts. So we headed to a famous spot called Ah Chew Desserts.
It's just, we
call it
just
grass
go.
jelly.
Grass jelly.
Grass. Oh, expressive.
Grass jelly.
It's not rice.
okay, this is the sago. It's like mini jelly.
Oh, like little balls.
So you can eat. You should eat like the durian with some like everything. You can
That's a durian.
Yeah, that's like the durian paste.
A little bit of this.
This is glorious. My favorite.
So usually
That's
we,
durian.
Is it ice cream? Or?
Really? No.
this ball is the durian paste, like the durian puree.
Is it a decent durian? Are you guys fans of durian?
It doesn't have that oniony. Yes. No. Now you got all durian. Now you just got a mouthful of durian.
That's good.
Right.
You know who Mark Means is?
Sorry?
You know who Mark Means is?
Not me.
Mark Means.
Oh, YouTube.
Yeah, on YouTube.
Let me try.
You're such a good sport.
Wow.
Okay.
Gonna be tough. Alright, so mango pomelo sago.
That was awesome.
Okay, and the last one I haven't tried yet.
The mango pomelo
You
steak.
shouldn't get to try that one.
I get to try it. And there's so much.
Yeah, ain't nobody got time for that.
Where do you even start?
Can't they see I'm trying to film here? What's wrong with that 7-month-old baby crying like that? Can't you see I have a camera on?
Stupid baby.
And which one am I eating here?
It's a black glutinous rice with coconut milk.
Okay.
I love mango.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Just literally film his reaction.
That's really
He's
good.
like, that you are enjoying it.
This one here?
That's your favorite?
Oh my god. So this is mango and is it tapioca? Tapioca?
Pomelo and then the tapioca pearls. Yeah.
Come on.
He loves
You've
sweets.
got to be kidding me. That. Oh, Jesus.
Singapore is one of the world's most prosperous nations, with both a business-friendly regulatory environment and a very low unemployment rate. The average annual income is about the same as in the United States. And it's ranked #1 in the world on the Economic Freedom Index, and also ranked as the city with the most expensive cost of living. Today we're on the hunt for one of Singapore's pricier dishes.
This place is called No Signboard Seafood. One of our new Singaporean friends, Susie, when we told her that we wanted to try the classic Singapore chili crab, she said, you definitely have to come to this place. They call it No Signboard. Apparently when they started out, they weren't doing so well. They couldn't afford signage for the restaurant. So like the regulars started calling it No Signboard. Seems like they're doing pretty well now because
there's a lot of those signs now that say No Signboard Seafood all over it.
Yeah.
But just check out the ridiculousness of this crab here. We have no idea what we're doing.
We're gonna make a
So
mess.
we're gonna try this as best we can. Glove up.
Ooh.
This is mantou.
Mantou.
I'm not even sure really what it is. I think it's a little bread type thing that you're supposed to use to dip in the chili sauce.
It looks like a little dinner roll. I feel like this is the prize meat, this big old claw here. Look at that. I have not gotten any crab in my mouth yet, and look at my gloves already. Jeff very kindly got me a big hunk of crab meat out. I'm gonna dump this in the sauce. And the guy just said, just go at it with your hands. So I have no problem with that. Nice crab. Oh yeah.
Is it good?
Oh yeah.
I'm so jealous right now.
You got that sweet, juicy crab meat. And then the chili sauce, like I was expecting it to be spicy. Maybe they see we're foreigners and toned it down a bit. Jeff is making a mess.
I'm making a mess over here. It's a huge mess. I haven't got the first thing in my mouth yet. Dip it all inside of there.
It's good, right?
Oh, that's awesome. That is so good. Take some of the meat that's in.
Oh yeah, this is a mess.
Great big ass mess.
Now there is a lot of sweetness to the crab meat. I think there's also like a sweetness to the sauce, right?
There is.
I'll try one of these mantou. Excuse my filthy gloves. I want to kind of show you what that looks like on the inside. All right. Just tastes like a very sweet, soft bun, almost like a Hawaiian roll. I'm just going at it.
That's probably the way to do it. I'm losing more than anything else.
Apparently for a lot of Singaporeans, this is like a special occasion dish. So for us, we got about 800 grams and we're gonna share it. But the price of the crab is about $100 a kilo.
The mantou is fantastic. Dip it in the chili sauce, a little bit of spice on your mouth. So good.
I got a big chunk of meat out. That's really satisfying.
Haha.
You did it? Oh, so satisfying.
That is super tasty. Ah, it's good. Jesus.
Do you want me to give you a sip of your beer? Thought you might. I propose the division of labor. I already have my gloves off. You have yours on. You peel the crabs, do that, and I'll do napkin and beer duty, okay?
It's good, right?
Oh, yeah.
You just took all my crab.
You worked so hard for it.
I worked so hard. I literally spent like the last 17 minutes. And she just took every bit of my claw.
Oh, that was good.
There you go. A little tiny piece there. That kills the chili crab finally. Mantou. Oh my god. That's hot. This is absolutely a messy
Fun.
thing to do. It's fun. It's very little reward for the work that you put into it.
The reward is getting to see you got messy.
But it's super tasty.
From their breathtaking international airport to the Malay, Indian, Chinese, and colonial influenced buildings, Singapore's contemporary architecture focuses heavily on sustainability, with lush vegetative landscapes being introduced into high-rise buildings. So we booked a riverboat cruise to get a look at the city. But first, of course, let's eat.
Hanging out here by the Riverwalk, waiting to catch a boat cruise so we can check out some of the gorgeous architecture in this city at night. And as much as the people who live here come from Chinese origins, Indian origins, Malay origins, you can't deny that the British have put their stamp on this city. The modern city of Singapore was founded by a British man, so we decided let's try some fish and chips in honor of Sir Sanford Raffles. I don't know what kind of fancy fish and chips we just ordered, but I've got one little piece of fish. These tiny little shoestring fries cost us 25 bucks, but we'll see how it is. Usually when you get fish and chips, you kind of expect it like wrapped in a newspaper and a big mess of greasy chips. But I'm gonna give it a shot. They're pretty good.
Okay, so along with Angela's fish and chips, we also got a smoked pork belly. So let's give this a try. This is actually fantastic.
Really good?
This is unbelievable. I'm sorry, I'm not looking at you. I was looking at Angie there, just trying to let her know that I'm kind of blown away by this right now. It's nothing overly fancy or anything else. It's just got a nice smoky flavor to it, a great mix of meat portions to it, along with the fattiness that goes along with it. Like, I don't know if you can see that there, that big fat strip right in the middle of it. It's actually really good. They did this well.
I have to say I'm a lot more impressed with the city than I thought I'd be. Cheers, Singapore.
Singapore has complex surveillance systems everywhere, and harsh punishments assure that violent and property crimes are almost non-existent. Many of Singapore's laws are backed by stiff fines, and corporal punishment in the form of caning is mandatory punishment for some crimes. Our last night in Singapore, we hung out with the crew at Jay's Bistro. Meet Hisham, Ai, and Susie, who fed us a delicious meal and talked to us about what it's really like to live in Singapore.
Escargot satay.
Oh.
So these are escargot marinated with Asian pesto.
Asian pesto.
Hi, welcome to J Bistro. We are located at 45 Syed Alwi Rd, 207636. And today we're portraying a few of our tapas dishes. First of all, let me introduce this top shell. Top shell is a seashell, and we marinated it with lime, calamansi, shallot, chili, lemongrass, and also lemongrass oil. And it's great to eat with beer. Next is Japanese grade Ika surume. It's a Japanese squid we air flown weekly, and we basted it with Asian pesto spice. Okay, and it's great to eat it at medium rare. And next to it is one of our new tapas, which is Madura satay. We marinated it with Indonesian spice, and also we use gula aren, which is a traditional palm sugar in Indonesia. And we grill it till it caramelized, then we basted it with the gravy itself. Next, we go to India or Pondicherry. It's a palak paneer, I would say tandoor, where we marinated with lots of yogurt, lime juice, paprika, and kasuri methi. Then we serve it with char grilled peppers. And next, down there, the last one, that will be in our menu mid-December. That's the escargot satay.
With like an Asian pesto, you said?
With an Asian pesto, correct.
Amazing. Is that you're using the European basil, or is that using like the Thai basil?
We use European basil and also Thai basil. That will give that extra umami instead of those natural sweet basil.
Right.
Yeah.
My mouth is literally watering.
Sure.
Oh
you
my
have
gosh.
to try. Maybe you go for escargot because this will be the spiciest.
Yeah, and you get some of this pesto in there too. Oh my gosh. Oh wow.
You know, a typical escargot is usually served with garlic parsley butter, but we change it. Instead of using butter, we use pesto sambal belacan.
I really like it together, right?
It's a twig of Asian flavor.
There's a lot of Indian influence in the Singapore food too, right? So this is like a palak paneer
These are palak
tandoor.
tandoor.
I love paneer. That's amazing. Oh, I love paneer so much. I like anything cheese. Oh my gosh.
And this is the beef satay that they do here. And you saw it as it was on the grill there. The char marks on it are beautiful. The marinade's a little bit different than what you're normally going to find in the satay, and the little dipping sauce that goes along with it. So let's give it a shot. That's so good. What is the main base?
One of the main ingredients are 5 kinds of chili.
5 kinds of chili. That's why I like it so much. They do this so well. This is to die for.
That's your favorite, huh?
Oh, I love this so much. So this is the spicy top shell. It's basically a shellfish, almost like a barnacle that you, if you're from North America, you'll know what I'm talking about with a barnacle. You find them at low tide, and there's a lot that's going on here. But I see the chilies, and you guys know how I love the chilies. So I'm trying to get one of them in there. See if you can see that all on there. It's fantastic. It's delicious. The first thing that really hits your mouth is the heat though. Right? The chilies they're using on this are no joke. They've got some heat to them. You get the nice taste of sesame that's going on in there.
Is it like a ceviche? Like it's marinated? Is the meat cooked?
For about 2 hours.
Sous vide.
Sous vide.
Okay.
Yeah.
Soy sauce. Then after which we marinate in house.
Beautiful. Okay. Sous vide. I was wondering how
Okay,
they prep it.
I want to do one more of these. Because I'm digging this, and then I'll save you some.
Yeah, sure you will.
I want the chilies. They're doing everything here so well. This is unbelievable.
That is unbelievable. Like you said, that's the Japanese sushi grade squid. So you get that nice tenderness of it. And that marinade is fantastic on it too. Wow. This is one of your top sellers?
Yeah.
I can see that.
Because the Madura satay is a new kid in town, so we haven't get the chance to deliberate it.
Well, we were watching you. I saw the heat on that oven, right? Which makes that nice little char on the edge of it. That's so good.
So this is the escargot satay, and they have wanted us to let you guys know this isn't even on the menu yet. They're just introducing it here to us. This won't be on the menu until December. So if you guys are watching this, you're in Singapore, you want to come check this place out, J Bistro and the staff here are going to give you a free stick of the escargot satays if you mention that you saw it in this video. And that is so good. Crazy good. So Hisham has pulled Angela away and is showing her all over the restaurant here, so I'm just sitting here eating all the food by myself. This is a squid. So good. They do a really good job.
Right?
So Hisham, the safety of Singapore. Tell me a little bit about that.
Okay, I would say staying in Singapore is quite a safe country. Okay, we don't have wars, we don't have riots, and for the Singapore government, basically they really took care of us for our safety. And anywhere you go, if you were to get robbed or shoplifted, they can get caught within 3 hours.
Because
Within
of
3
all the
hours.
security that's
Yes.
set up, the cameras
Yes,
everywhere.
there are a lot of cameras. There are thousands of cameras along the road.
And all of the cameras, they have facial recognition built
Yes.
into the cameras. So all
You can't run away.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
can run away.
So the camera's going by, you go and steal somebody's bag on the side of the road. They
Yeah,
got
it
you
can easily.
immediately.
Yeah, as a woman, I know, like, you know, back home, or, you know, like when you're in North America, like you're afraid to walk at night.
Like at night,
Especially, right? But I've noticed that here, like, I don't feel that way. How do you feel? Like if you're late at night?
For me as a lady, like, you know, even you going back from a party or maybe from work, and if you finish like 1 or 2 a.m. in the morning, it's very safe.
Yeah. Do any of you have children?
No.
All the 3 of us are single.
All the 3 of you?
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you, you know, like, you know, how do you feel about like the future? You know, we were reading that like the hawker stalls and the food here has recently been given like the UNESCO heritage,
Yeah.
like it's a protected cultural thing, right? But we're also seeing that when you're in the hawker stalls, that a lot of the hawkers are like older people,
The vast majority you
and their
see are
children
older.
aren't taking over their stalls. And because, you know, they worked hard so that their children can get an education and have a different job than they have. So do you feel like the traditional foods in Singapore have a future, or like how does that make
Or
you
is
feel?
this something that's dying out?
You think that's dying out?
The new generations most of them don't want to continue their generation legacy because due to the stress, the work which they are really into their job, what they love doing. So I think it's going to exist in a way.
Yeah, it's dying. Actually, for hawker, basically in Singapore, they are dying.
Right. If
they
you don't
want
have
to
to
wake up in
be.
the morning 5 a.m., 6 a.m., go to the sun, they still want to sleep on their bed.
Singapore is expensive. We can see that just as visitors here. I can only imagine what it's like to live here. But the one thing that we found consistency in and very much affordable are the hawker stalls.
It's going down gradually, slowly, but in the end, if nobody took over the
Legacy.
business legacy, right, it totally be
It'll just be
Yeah.
gone, and
Be gone,
that's
yeah,
it.
that's it.
That's got to be tough though, because us as visitors coming to Singapore, the food has been phenomenal here, and to see something like that die out, I guess.
because I think they can't sustain. Their profit margin is quite low. As you say, maybe like $3.50 for
$4, yeah, $3.50, $4 for
Yes.
something.
So the profit margin is very low. It's just, I think it's just enough for them to sustain their business.
Talk a little about the economy of Singapore, simply because like it's not known as a place that like manufactures a lot or grows things for export or things like that, right? And like Singapore is known the whole world over as being like a very prosperous place. Where does that prosperity come from?
Where the prosperity comes from? From where?
Yeah.
I'm asking you, yeah.
Yeah, we are curious. From where does the prosperity come from?
Yeah.
You really you don't have an answer?
Maybe shipping.
Shipping, yeah.
That's what I was
Yeah.
going to say. You guys have the largest shipping port in the
We had the
world.
largest.
For us, I think that we found that Singapore has the largest shipping port in the world. That
One of
doesn't
them,
make-
yeah.
Why?
Why? Yeah.
Why Singapore? Why would it be there?
One is the efficiency and also the strategic location of Singapore
Yes.
between the equator. We are more on the strategic.
So it's like a distribution point for a lot of the countries in the region, right?
Yes.
So if you're shipping from, say, Europe or North America, they drop the cargo off in Singapore, and then it goes
Yeah,
out
they
from
will
there.
diversify outside. And one thing about for Singapore is we are free from like food, earthquake, all the natural disasters.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, if you have the largest port in maybe Indonesia or Jakarta, they are frequent with.
So a bit of a problem.
Yeah, so that's where the problem is.
yeah, that makes sense. It's
So it's stable, it's
Yes,
peaceful,
correct.
it's, you know, you're not going to have a war break out
Yeah.
or a big natural disaster.
as far as work weeks go right now, and the amount of money that you're able to make, how often do you have to work? Like, how much do you guys actually work?
How many days a week? How many hours a week?
Minimum 6 days.
6 days?
6 days?
Is that,
Ten-
is
6
that
days.
standard for everybody? 6 days a week, more or less?
Most of the Singaporean 6 days a week,
Wow.
They work
minimum
office.
10 hours.
10 hours a day?
Whichever
6 days a week?
industry, yes.
So even like the office workers, they're working 6 hours a day.
Yes.
Oh.
6 days a week.
6 days a week.
Sorry,
Not
that's
6
what I
hours
meant.
a
That's
day.
what I meant. Sorry,
8
6
hours
days
a
a week.
day.
6 hours a day sounds good.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
8 hours a day.
I would be very happy.
And is there any like backlash from the people about that? Is there any desire to change that? Like to maintain a better work-life balance?
The problem is, I think Singaporean is already known to this system.
The government is looking into like a work-life balance, whereby right now they are still thinking how they are going to do it, like maybe to lessen the hours, like there are some industry whereby you can work 4 days a week, so that at least you can spend time with your family.
I read that a car here is about $150,000. Does anyone here have a car?
No. A car for a normal Singaporean, if your wage does not reach that 5K income ceiling, you can forget about owning a car.
So, Hisham, Susie, thank you guys so much for putting up with us here tonight and taking such great care of us. This has been amazing.
Jay's Bistro.
If you guys are ever in Singapore, once again, highly recommend Jay's Bistro. Be sure to come by because they're going to give you an escargot skewer if you mention this video to them for free.
Within the modern buildings and on the regulated streets of Singapore live a people who have a love for their traditions and high hopes for their futures. We were lucky enough to crack the polished exterior of Singapore, and underneath we found some of the warmest and most welcoming people we've met anywhere in our travels. And yes, of course, the food's pretty good too.